Our correspondent Roee Ruttenberg has his report from the Independence Square in Kiev after what was a bloody day and a bloodier night.
It was another tense night in the streets of Kiev as it became unclear what direction this standoff would take. Now, it appears to be quiet behind me. That's because just a little bit further back behind that church is the central Independence Square, but the barricade has actually expanded. We're just north of the square, and we were in the square a few hours ago, and there are barricades being operated by the opposition protesters, by the police, by the special forces, by militia that are helping both sides, and even by camouflaged bandits wearing face masks and wielding sticks. So the security area, if you will, here has actually expanded following those clashes on Tuesday night and Wednesday that, of course, left more than 26 people dead. Now, President Viktor Yanukovych on Wednesday night in the late hours announced that he had reached, quote, a truce with 3 of the opposition parties. It's unclear if that truce exists. We haven't gotten confirmation from the opposition, and it's unclear if it does exist how long it will hold. But one of the things he promised was that he would not send his police forces into the Independence Square overnight. Now, we have seen also protesters take up arms elsewhere in the country, and we saw protesters on Wednesday blocking a border crossing with Poland, insisting that President Yanukovych step down and that there be constitutional reforms. We've also heard from the Ukrainian security services that they've launched a, quote, anti-terrorist operation to reclaim some of the buildings that they say have been taken over by hardline rebels. So we'll see a lot more action of that on Thursday. And we also expect to see some of the European foreign ministers who are here in Ukraine heading back to Brussels for an extraordinary meeting of EU foreign ministers that was called urgently on Wednesday following the violence here. And of course, these coming days will tell what type of action not only will be taken by the EU, but of course by the protesters and by the president himself. Roee Ruttenberg, CCTV in Kiev.